This is going to be an extremely short stream. And this space sim is called AstroColony. Now, I've already started the game. However, this is the worst game that I have ever played dealing with the keybinds, how you set up your keybinds. And I'll tell you why. Because the hammer, the chisel that you use to pick out the minerals at the beginning, and I don't know if this is the only one, but it's hard-coded into the game. It's hard-coded as a right mouse click. Now, most games you want to use right mouse click to travel forward. Well, you can't do it because right mouse click is hard-coded into adding soil into the ground when you're trying to make a sculpture, when you're working on your caves and stuff like that. You use the left mouse button that brings up the chisel or rock hammer, and then when you go to use the right mouse button to raise up the level of the dirt, you're ending up constantly moving forward all the time. This bothered the crap out of me for so long. Not this game, but the first time I played it, it was just, I rage quit the game half a dozen times before I figured it out. So that's why I want to mention it. So what I did was I absolutely have to reprogram the mouse so that the right mouse button is the W key. I've moved the right mouse button to a side key on the mouse, and as a consequence, anything that's using the right mouse button is on that side. And so, namely, canceling the putting down of an item and the removal of an item. So when you want to remove something, the safe way to do it so you don't do it accidentally is you hold the control button, and you can use that side button, which is now programmed to the right mouse button. It took me so long to figure out what to do with this mess. And then so the rotating left of the item that you're trying to put down, I just left it sort of like that. And to rotate the item right once the item is ready to get placed, I use the scroll up button. And the scroll down is unpossessing an item. I don't like holding these items all of the time, and sometimes there's a scanner thing that keeps popping up, and it interferes with my game, and I don't know, I still haven't figured out why that thing keeps coming up and how to deal with it. So how I deal with it is just remember to scroll backwards towards me, and that will get rid of any items that's in my hands. So the scrolling mouse button thing is kind of a sensitive area, but as long as you don't mess with it, it shouldn't be a problem. Now, so to fill the tank with oxygen, I thought he could do it on the fly out in space. I thought he could just eat ice or something, but I guess I was wrong. So he's going to come back to the oxygen thing, and he uses that to build or to fill up his oxygen tank. So that's an F button. And then the rest of it is I haven't really messed with. I wanted to use control for going down where his space goes up, but evidently I'm using the left alt button because the alt button's a little closer to the space bar. So that's the big deal. The big deal is you got to reprogram the mouse button. If you don't reprogram it, you're going to end up with massive headaches. You're not going to want to play the game. That's just the way it is. And then what else? So that's reprogram the right mouse button to a little key on the side on the right, and then the right mouse button is going to be programmed to W. That saves that problem. Uh, and then there's some other stuff that goes on, but that's really all it took me. What did it take me? 4 hours. I was trying to figure out, like, I thought I could use something in the inventory, and it didn't work out so well. So, I have done a few things with the game. I'm not necessarily going to go into it. So that's the settings. And so, like, what I've done is this: I've started the game, and there is something that I've done with the game because I've got a number of hours in the game, and so I thought that, well, you know what, I am going to I'm gonna actually give myself some credit where credit is due, and just kind of start the game. So that thing down there that looks like those are like islands of metal and they got stuff on them. That's an ice island, and there's a I want to build my whole ship based around this ice block, and then there's something I want to do underneath with the electrical cabling, which I can't quite do right now, and even though oh crap, even though there's something there that was not supposed to be there, but I'll fix that. Um, yeah, that's what it is. So I gave myself some startup resources and some startup technology. I'm not going to just give myself all of this technology, and I want the game to be able to earn some of it. However, I will have most of the technology to get up into farming and agriculture. There are some things that, by rights, the astronauts that come in, you're supposed to set up stations for them in order for them to do the research for agriculture and stuff like that. Well, there is still some left to do, because I think it takes like 200. It's like 200 science or something. But yeah, dude's got some science. He's smart. What can I say? So, yep, that's what I want to talk about, and I'm ready to start the game. It took me, God, I think I've been messing around with this for 5 hours tonight, because I was doing some other things with the game to get it started, and kind of to make a little story in there, and that sort of thing. So, I really wanted to get back into the game, but I did not want to go through this madness of collecting all. I will go through the beginning of it, but just as an idea of how the game starts out and that sort of thing. I like the game. I think it was worth it when I bought it. They seem to have kept up some of the updates, and that's the story of AstroColony. And that's sort of an example of what it looks like once you get things going. Well, that looks like dominoes down there. What the hell? It looks like dominoes coming in there. Yeah, it's one of the it's sort of it's one of the few space games that's got trees in it. And I like trees. I like things that are not quite so complicated, and to be able to design some stuff, to design your own stuff. That dude's got belts going through instead of using. Yeah. All right. Well, anyway, Just wanted to get into that little mess there about the keybinds, and if hopefully I'm all ready to start the game.